Hey folks, so powers today. So let me check my signaling here. I'll go through my intro and then we'll get to work. For folks that are catching us in the future, you can skip forward like 2 minutes to get past the intro. But otherwise, for folks that are new folks, we're gonna dive into. Let's see, let's get our intro going for the new bloods. Out and about. Copy paste. And all right, so hey, my name is Theurgy. I create role-playing games. I illustrate them. I publish them online. I've been focusing my attention on Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition here for the past 5 years. There is a slew of work that I've created already that is published on DMsGuild. There are links in the description down below that will lead you to a selection of them. They're all free previews, so if you click on the full preview button underneath the cover image on the product page, if you're on a desktop or if you are on a mobile device, there will be an eye icon on the right-hand side of the screen that you can click there instead to pop open a PDF to check out the stuff that we've got going on. I run campaigns in D&D from level 1 to 20 in typically in about 200 to 250 hours. So the stuff that I build are meant to be used for both DMs and players in each tier of play. The stuff that I build are things that are either campaigns I want to run and the tools don't exist for me to be able to express it properly, or during the course of a campaign I discovered tools that would be useful that I can then build into something that I share with other people. So currently the Martial Powers project is, let me click out of this here to walk you through what we're doing here. I just posted that I'm live on Twitter, so if you want to get notifications when I'm live in the future, you can follow me on Twitter X at Theurgy. Otherwise, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon to get notifications of... this isn't apparently what it is that we're supposed to be doing right now. What are we supposed to be doing right now? Spelljammer? No, that's not right. 5e game design. There we go. This is where we're supposed to be. Forgive me for a second. I'm going to have to fix all of my uploads because I just uploaded the wrong notification. So I'm going to dive back into Discord here for a hot second where I post all my stuff and without distracting you all from the cause and effects of what's going on. The Martial Powers is, okay, great. So you can see here on the screen a slew of books I've created. The 5-color mana spell point variant rules that I have on DMsGuild was a project that I had created a couple years ago to have a unified mana mechanic that players that wanted to be involved in Magic the Gathering campaigns would have a color mana mechanic to reflect the Magic the Gathering system. But that worked great for spellcasters, but all the martial classes were, unless they had access to a mana pool like spellcasting somehow that we can convert into the color mana system for spellcasting, martial classes were pretty much out in the cold, even though Magic the Gathering has plenty of like soldiers or orcs or whatever, various creature types that don't have quote-unquote spell casting, but had things that they could trigger by spending mana regardless, a sort of martial power, if you would. So what this project does is it converts a lot of the class features and from martial classes into a mana system that you can spend. You gain a pool of mana, and you can then spend that mana to cause effects. Things that are provided in subclasses and class features can be boosted or used with mana. And there's also I'm almost done here going through my updates because I royally screwed up my stream announcement today. So we're going to get into this here in a hot... There we go. Okay, great. Now everything is... should be good to go. Let me reopen and reopen again. Get this out of the way. There we go. Okay, cool. So we are now on task. Let's see. So without further ruin, mic check, mic check. So without, cool. So like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, get notifications when I'm live in the future. I post on Twitter at Phil Kearney. You can get notifications there. Thanks for everyone's patience while I mucked through that intro. So this martial power system that we're developing here, let's look, you can tag along here. If you scroll down to the playtest content, it'll pop open my Patreon. You do not have to be a member of Patreon, though it's certainly appreciated to gain access to this content. We're going to be playtesting this in the new year. Playtest content here. If you click on this YouTube stream here, you'll be taken to the playlist that we're live on right now. But if we click here to martial powers, it'll pop open a read-only document that anyone can tag along inside of. That is the same document that we're using here. And so we've gone through, this is episode 89, is that right? Yeah, episode 89, holy Hannah. Episode 89 now. So the past 88 episodes, we've gone through a lot of this. We've gone through a number of revisions. We continue to cook in the kitchen. We've simplified a lot of the mechanics. Just to walk you guys through some of the quick changes that we have made here during progress. First off, we have, of course, the power progression table. You get a power die at first that upgrades to a D8 at 9 and then a D10 at 17. This acts as a superiority die, martial arts die, inspiration die, and a lot of times you can, depending on what kind of dice your character has, you can use different dice than these power dice. But these power dice are the default dice of damage and boost effects that you get. Like if you're using an exploit to increase your stealth check, if you're first level, you'd be rolling D6s. If you're 9th level, you'd be rolling D8s. And depending on how much mana you channel into a skill, is the number of dice that you roll, take the best. Strikes are like smites. Strikes, there's 40 some odd different strike powers that we have developed here. There's like 140 some odd in total. Exploits modify movements, dice rolls like D20s, saving throws, skill checks, ability checks, and attack rolls, armor class, movement. There's maneuvers, which can be used as an action or bonus action to basically point-click at somebody to cause an effect or to give yourself some sort of boost, like an extra attack, or like a lot of the Battlemaster maneuvers end up being inside of the maneuver category here, sensibly enough, because they're maneuvers, but whatever. But these are all things that you gain resources to be able to spend to be able to do, but you can get into like telekinesis bubble, is effectively resilient sphere, the resilient sphere spell, right? So you can trigger somebody to get caught up in that thing. We have 22 different reactions that you spend 1 or more mana. You can do something like roll advantage on saving throws, whatever. Strike powers are like smites, like for example the freezing strike. You hit somebody, you deal extra smite damage, and their movement speed is halved, kind of like the Ray of Frost cantrip, for example. There's a ton of these. Well, 24 of them anyway. Sustained powers are things that you can maintain concentration on to create buff effects for your own character. So you can kind of set up your own auras and magical effects that increase their capabilities. So we gain a stack of you gain a stack of powers that you can learn. Similar to spellcasters can learn spells. You can learn up to 16. And as you gain subclass levels, you gain bonus powers along the way as well, up to 10. So you'll end up with a 20th level martial power character will end up with 26 powers in total, 16 you pick yourself, 10 that come baked into whatever subclass that you're working with. So currently we're in the process of building out monk subclasses to create different bonus power lists. But we've also been, over the past few weeks, been modifying the core features that go into each one of these. And we were running into a number of complications. Like, for example, if you're going to throw extra dice and then you crit, you're going to double the dice that you deal with your power, with your channeled strikes, just like you would with divine smites. But now, if we're going to be coupling together strike powers that spend mana, then we're looking at like brutal criticals from barbarians not synchronizing correctly, And we also have issues with Rogue Sneak Attack not syncing correctly, because these are things that you'd be able to spend mana on to ramp up on top of whatever your normal base is, which is going to overclock what a Paladin can do, which we do not want to do. So, hey Karen, it's good to see you. So some of the things that we've come up here, modifications that we've made to the Barbarian, we'll walk through these real quick, and then we'll get on to modifying some of the monks specifically. So here, empowered attacks, it used to be a lot of language. Now we've simplified it down to, at 5th level, when you take the attack action, you only get 2 attacks. If you hit with the first attack, you can forgo your second attack to gain to basically channel a strike power and reduce the amount of mana that you spend on that power by 1 mana. So like if we were to go down into our strike powers here, one of our strikes, like for example, second rank strike, provoking strike, your weapon can deal psychic damage and add 1 power die per mana burned. So at, say, this is a second rank strike, so at second rank we gain access to those at 5th level. We'd be rolling a 2d6 at 5th level. That would upgrade to a d8 and up to 3rd rank at 9th level. So say at 5th level, if we were to channel the blinding, which one were we looking at? Intimidating. No, we were looking at provoking strike, right. So if we were to channel at 5th level, a provoking strike as a second rank power, we'd roll 2 power dice. This is going to be d6s at level 5, and we'll upgrade to d8s at 9th level. So we deal an extra 2d6 damage, and the creature can only attack you until it either loses line of sight with you or you are incapacitated, and the creature can end the effect early by succeeding a wisdom saving throw at the end of each of its turns. Creature's immune to charm, save with advantage. So that's a thing. You could pop 2 mana, deal extra damage, and now they've been provoked, so they only attack you until they can succeed a saving throw or they lose line of sight with you. That's one example of what we can do with empowered strikes. So empowered attacks, you gain 2 attacks. If you hit with your first attack, you can channel a strike power and reduce the cost by 1 mana. So in the example here of this provoking strike, it would normally cost you 2 mana, but if it's the first attack that you hit with, then you can forgo your second attack to reduce that down to only costing 1 mana instead of 2, dealing 2d6 damage and provoking the target that you hit. And then you have brutal power. At 10th level, you can score a critical hit on a 19 or 20, which will upgrade to an 18, 19, or 20 at 17th level as a barbarian. And at 10th level, when you score a critical hit, you can channel a first rank power at no cost. And of course, you're critting, so it's going to double. So you could spend 1 power die, and let's say you're at 10th level, right? So a 10th level character is going to be rolling d8s, and when you crit, you double that. So you'll roll a crit, you can channel 1 die, 1 mana for free. It costs nothing. It'll do 2d8 damage, and then if you know a first rank, like say, shocking strike, your weapon can deal lightning damage. Add 1 power die per mana burned, which will be default 1d8, but you critted, so it'll be 2d8. And then the creature cannot take opportunity attacks until the end of its next turn. So that's a cool little benefit that you got for free. But then the kicker on top of that for the brutal strike is, as we continue to climb the ladder, at 13th level, when you score a critical hit, you can channel a second rank strike without spending any mana. So at 10th level, that'll be 13th level. You're rolling a d8 on your crit damage. So it would be 2d8, but it crits, so it's up to 48, and you can channel a second rank strike like provoking strike, for instance. And then at 17th level, you can crit on 18, 19, or 20, and when you score a critical hit, you can channel a third rank strike without spending any mana. So that would be at 17th level, you're rolling a d10, so it would be 3d10, you critted, so double it, and you can channel up to a third rank strike at costing you no mana to do so. So it gets pretty sick pretty fast. And of course, you could spend extra mana to ramp up. Like at 17th level, your max channel limit is 5. So you get 3 points for free. You could dump in 2 mana of your own. You only have 17 mana, so you could dump in 2 extra mana. You'd have 5d10 dice. It's crit, so you could double all of it. And you could channel anything up to your max rank. And the max rank of power that can be channeled is, it only goes up to 4th rank, which you gain at 13th level, like Banishing Strike, Paralyzing Strike, good stuff there. So that's the kind of stuff that we've figured out for the Barbarian. Now we don't have an issue with critting dealing extra dice of damage, plus piling on the spell, the smite feature, which also doubles. We were having a real clash on how do the bonus dice from the brutal critical work with adding dice. Similarly with the rogue, we had an issue of what's the simplest way for us to be able to make strikes work with rogues at any time without breaking? Because if you could spend mana on top of your sneak attack dice at 20th level, you're dealing, or at 19th level, you're dealing 10d6 damage, plus you could channel 5 mana for an extra 5d10 damage. That's potentially 110 damage that you could deal. Plus, if it critted, it would double, which is like 2 to 4 times the capacity of what a paladin can do, which is too much. So we had to fix that stuff. So the solution we currently have that I'm looking forward to testing is for the rogue is instead of gaining the sneak attack class feature, you instead gain cunning power, which is when you hit with a sneak attack, you can channel a strike power up to your max channel limit gained as a rogue without spending any mana. So a 5th level rogue would normally have 3d6 damage. A 5th level rogue. Yeah, a 5th level rogue would have 3d6 sneak attack damage dice. But instead, you could channel, with this, you could channel a 2nd rank strike, which gives you only 2d6 sneak attack damage, right? But you also get the feature of whatever 2nd rank power is. At 17th level and 19th level, you'll be dealing 5 dice of d10s. So you'll be taking your sneak attack. Instead of doing sneak attack, you'd be doing 5d10 damage instead of 6d10. Plus, you can channel any power that you know, and you'll be doing 5d10 damage. So you'll be taking a little less damage, and you'll be able to apply, basically, as long as you can sneak attack, you can deal as many strike powers as you want. This leans into the cunning strike idea that Wizards has for Unearthed Arcana, but it doesn't blend strikes, the smites with the sneak attack, so you aren't blowing out your damage curve beyond what a paladin would normally be able to do. This is allowing you to stay in curve with that and gain significant feats that both simplify the cunning strikes feature for sneak attack, as well as helps resolve mana issues. And then the other thing that you gain is power over precision, which is you can sacrifice cunning power and not be able to do extra damage at all when you're making sneak attacks. And instead, you gain extra mana that you can add to your mana pool. So if you're not planning on having any combat encounters, you can decide to ditch sneak attack and load up on extra mana so you can have extra reactions, exploits, and maneuvers during social and exploration encounters. But at any time, you can refund the bonus mana that you gain to regain your cunning power back. So if you, like, say at 20th level, you'd have 20 mana, and if you use power over precision, you could abandon your sneak attacking, and instead of having 20 mana, you could ramp up to 30 mana and burn all that down. You could regain cunning strikes, cunning power by spending 10 mana at any time. If you've burned down your pool to the point that you don't even have 10 mana left, then you can't. But you can take a short rest to get all your mana back, and to reset cunning power, you could then choose to sacrifice cunning power again. So this is an option that if the kind of rogue you want to play isn't a sneak attacky kind of rogue, you can still channel strikes when you do sneak attacks. It's just you're going to have to spend mana when you do it. Otherwise, it's free. But if you want to stack up your mana pool, get yourself on to more mana than you normally have during a short rest, then if you need to make a sneak attack, you can always just spend a point of mana to deal a strike, to deal a 1st rank strike. Whatever it is that you need to do. But, or you could, refund those mana and then get your cunning power back and get free sneak attack, get free strike powers from there. So that's the quick skinny of what we've had. Again, this stuff is free for, hey, timely timer. Again, you can check this out in the playtest content here in my Patreon. There's a link to the playtest content that we are literally looking at right now, right here. And so I'm pretty pleased with that. It's no longer breaking the the action economy. It's no longer breaking the damage limits for either the barbarian or the rogue, which were the last two that I was having problems with. Everything else out that we have decked out here, we can now freely multi-class all of these classes together, and none of them are going to break the other one using this new mana system. So that was a while to get that sorted out. Again, we're on episode 89, and I've been playtesting this with my team for quite some time, but they're all single classes. So I hadn't had to deal with multi-class issues, but I started tinkering out some multi-class builds, and I was seeing flaws. And that's why we had to make these changes. So, having said all that, I'm happy with where it's at. Anyone can playtest all this stuff. Again, it's a 80-page document that's available for people to look at right now on my Patreon without having to actually be a member of my Patreon to do so. But right now, we are working on converting subclasses for the monk. We've already done a lot of work in converting all the classes, just the basic features. But we want to add a list of powers to every subclass that's gained, so you're gaining bonus powers. So, but when we went through the Drunken Master the first time through, monks are the first ones that we did. And it's been a half year since we've been doing that. So our tech has advanced considerably since we started this project. So I think it's worth going back through all of these again just to see how things have evolved since then, to see if there are any modifications that we actually need to make to the Drunken Master at this point, knowing what we know now. So that's the process that we're going to go through right now. We're going to see if previously the only thing that we felt we needed to change was Intoxicating Frenzy. But let's go through our class features again and see if that still remains true. So bonus proficiencies. When you choose this tradition at 3rd level, you gain proficiency in the performance skill if you don't already have it. Your martial arts techniques mix combat training with the precision of a dancer and antics of a jester. You also gain proficiency with brewer's supplies if you don't have any. So I'm going to actually grab all this because we already have better language for this bonus proficiency stuff. So give me a second to copy all this. We'll open up a notepad here for us to play with. Let's go up here. Let's do let's pick a different one. There, that'll serve. Drop back down here into Drunken Master. This will be bonus proficiencies. You gain the skilled feats. Gaining proficiency in performance. One moment. Performance, comma. Brewer's supplies. And a skill, tool, or musical instrument of your choice. Drunken technique. You learn how to twist and turn quickly as part of your flurry of blows. Whenever you use flurry of blows, you gain the benefit of the disengage action, and your walking speed increases by 10 feet until the end of the current turn. Whenever you use flurry of blows, you gain the disengage action, and your walking speed increases by 10 feet. Drunken techniques, no changes. That is legit good enough as is. Drunken, what is it? Drunken technique. I wonder if this is going to survive the changes to 1D&D. No changes. No. Copy, paste, paste. Tipsy Sway. Sixth. Tipsy Sway. Starting at 6th level, you can move in sudden swaying ways. You gain the following benefits. Leap to your feet. When you're prone, you can stand by spending up to 5 up. You can stand up by spending 5 feet of movement rather than half your speed. Redirect attack. When a creature misses you with a melee attack, you can spend 1 key as a reaction to cause that attack to hit one creature of your choice other than the attacker that you can see within 5 feet of you. Yeah, okay. Tipsy Sway, no changes. I'm good with Tipsy Sway. Redirect attack, blah, blah, blah. Drunkard's Luck. Attack to hit one creature of your choice other than the attacker. Right. Drunkard's Luck. 11th, you always seem to get the lucky bounce at the right moment. When you make an ability check, an attack roll, or a saving throw and have disadvantage on the roll, you can spend 2 key points to cancel the disadvantage for that. To cancel. That's too expensive. Drunkard's Luck is way too expensive. Drunkard's Luck. 11. That should only be 1 key. Starting at 11th level, you always seem to get a lucky bounce at the right moment. When you make an ability check, an attack roll, or a saving throw and have disadvantage on the roll, you can spend 1 mana. It shouldn't be 2 key. It should only be 1 mana. That's too expensive. You can gain advantage with 1 mana, so you should be able to get rid of disadvantage with 1 mana. It's literally the same. Intoxicating Frenzy. When you gain the ability to make an overwhelming number of attacks against a group of enemies. When you use your Flurry of Blows, you can make up to 3 additional attacks with it. Up to a total of 5 Flurry of Blow attacks, providing that each Flurry of Blow attacks a different creature this turn. When you use your Flurry of Blows, you can make up to 3 additional attacks with it, up to your total of 5 Flurry of Blow attacks, provided that each Flurry of Blows attack targets a different creature this turn. We already get that for free. So we have class feature that we created that we've had for a while now is the Whirlwind attack, which costs a minimum of 1 mana. It can be used as a bonus action or an action. It can be used twice around if you want to. That you can Whirlwind attacks at 17th level. You can target up to 5 attacks, which is what the Whirlwind, the Drunken Frenzy thing is offering. They all have to be within melee range, which is less than what this is offering. And it caps by doing it's 1 mana equals hit 5 targets dealing a martial arts die, which you also can do. But you can also teleport with this. Burn 1 point of mana minimum. At 17th level, you're going to be doing a D10, which is the same as your martial arts die currently. Or if they upgrade it later, it'll be a D12. You can hit all 5 targets, up to 5 targets within 30 feet of you. That's already significantly better than Intoxicating Frenzy. So what are we going to do with Intoxicating Frenzy? We're going to change it. We already have whirlwind attack, so we don't need to modify that. What we are going to do instead is intoxicating frenzy. While sustaining flurry of attacks, you can burn. Oh yeah, nice. When sustaining flurry of attacks, you can up to 3 attacks instead of 2. Period. There. Very, very simple. Very, very simple. Yeah, there you go. Way of the 4 Elements. We have a whole book dedicated to Way of the 4 Elements, which is called Elemental Key. Right here. A $3 book you guys can pick up for a $1 discount if you grab the whole bundle. But this entire book is here. It turns the monk into a half caster. And here's the stack of spells that you would normally gain. Talking about converting color mana or elemental mana if you prefer. Way of the 4 Elements. The stuff that you get, Elemental Smite, which is dealing damage type depending on the type of key that you use, which is the exact same thing we do with the martial power system already. Elemental Grace. Irresistible Elements. This is gaining resistance to a damage type. This is making creatures with immunity and resistance to a damage type become vulnerable to it. And then Elemental Avatar is taking the 6th level spell. What is that 6th level spell? The Incarnate, like the Flame Incarnate and the Ice Incarnate. As well, there's the incarnation of Stone and the Incarnation of Wind. This is basically converting all of those into basically like a paladin aura sort of effect, but elemental themed. Anyway, so that's that stuff. So I'm going to skip elemental key. I'm going to skip Way of the 4 Elements for now because we already have a whole book about it. So I can cut and paste stuff as I need later down the road to get that stuff grooved. Oh, wait. Derp. We need to add a stack of powers to the Drunken Master. And where are we at on time? I might have time only for 1 today. Yeah, we're at 30 minutes. I've got time for 1 today. So we're gonna finish out the Drunken Master, and then when we come back next week, we will we'll update the 4 Elements. Whew, man, 4 Elements is gonna be interesting to do. Let's see. Yeah, super interesting. Okay, cool. Drunken Master. Let's pick out some powers. Let's see. Topsy-turvy. Oh, let's go down to our sustained powers first to flesh out what we have down there. Frenzied attacks. While sustaining this power, you gain 1 additional attack when you take the attack action, and you gain advantage on all attack rolls. Frenzied attack is pretty damn good. So we'll take that. Frenzied attack. +4. Let's see. Flurry of attacks. While sustaining this power, you can use a bonus action. Including the bonus action used to sustain flurry of attacks to attack twice. That's already replaced by what we can do as a monk, so less efficient monk for the fighter or whoever else. Let's see. Oh, strange metabolism is pretty obvious. While sustaining this power, you're immune to poison damage and the poison condition. In addition, as a bonus action, you can make an unarmed strike to deal one power die of poison damage. And the creature is poisoned until it succeeds a Constitution saving throw at the end of each of its turns. So strange metabolism, that works pretty well. Strange metabolism, sus 1. That's first rank, right? No, that's sus 2. Let's see. What's other close quarter combat? Cloud Strider, contingent, swift assessment, saving. We already have rogue stance for free. Range skirmisher, fast, dire impact, elemental resistance, crouching stance. While you channel this power, you gain the following benefits. You can crawl or stand from prone without requiring additional movement. Attack rolls made against you while prone. Attack rolls you make while prone don't have disadvantage. You gain it. Okay, so crouching stance is pretty damn good. So let's go with, when do we pick up? Tipsy Sway is the one that that lets us. Okay, cool. So let's go with crouching stance sus 1. What else we got? Man, blind sense not so much. Ooh, delusional strike. That's fun. Delusional Strike. Your weapon deals psychic damage and add 1 power die per mana burned, and the creature is confused. Basically becomes intoxicated. It doesn't know what it's doing. It doesn't know what it's where it's gonna act. Ooh, debilitating. There's also debilitating strike. Oh no, we already have stunning strike as a monk, so you don't need that one. Let's see. Tripping strike. Tripping strike is good. So is thundering strike. There doesn't have to be any specific order in which we gain these. We don't have to gain first rank powers at 3rd. We don't have to gain second rank powers at 5th. It caps at 4th rank powers at 13th. So what are you supposed to do with 17th, right? You just take them in whatever order it makes sense based on the class itself. Because you could always just pick up all of these on your own if you want. It's just when they get added to your power list, they're bonus powers that you get for free. So you can then swap out powers that you know that become available on your bonus list. You can then free up that slot for you to learn something completely different. So let's see what else we got. Sweeping Strike. Mana burn. You can choose a second creature within 5 feet of the original target and within your reach. If the original attack roll would hit the second creature, it takes damage equal to the total rolled on the power dice. The damage is of the same type dealt by the original attack. Your weapon damage increases by 1 power die. Yeah, sweeping strike that's not structured like a strike. No, it kind of is. Huh. No, that'll do. Oh, right, because you have to stack up. Yeah, no, that's okay. There's a bursting strike that deals multiple dice to multiple creatures within reach. Whirlwind strike kind of replaces that effect, though. Maybe we'll get rid of it. Let's go up to a bursting strike. Yeah, that might not be relevant. Yeah, maybe it is. Let's keep it for now. Let's see what else we got. Right, a revival as a reaction to when you drop to 0 hit points, but don't die outright. Nah. Where are we down to anyway? Hey, Timely Timer, thanks a lot. Keep it going. Take a sip. That mug is now empty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need 5 more things. What's some cool high-end shit we can do? Fickle Fate, as a reaction to when a creature you can see makes an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, you can alter fate, granting the creature advantage or disadvantage on the roll. I like that. Fickle Fate. That's fun. Second rank. Was that a reaction? That's cool. One's own luck as a reaction to rolling a 1 or more power dice. You can reroll any number of dice and take the higher result. I like that. That's very meta, but I like it. One's own luck. Redirect as a reaction to when a creature you can see hits another creature with an attack. You can redirect the attack to target another creature you can see within 30 feet of you, even if the attacking creature would not normally be able to do so. As a reaction to when a creature you can see moves into or while within the reach of your melee weapon, you can make an opportunity attack. As a reaction to when a creature you can see moves into or while within the reach of your weapon, or within. I like that. Moving target's a good one. That's, is that a reaction? Moving target 1. Yeah, that's a good one. And we can take moving target. And then Fickle Fate. Nice. All right, now is there anything else that we want to pick up? Curse of the Fallen Puppet. As a reaction to when a creature within 30 feet drops, that's so funny. Not quite on task with what we want, but parry as a reaction to when another creature you can see damages you with a melee attack. You can roll 1 power die, reducing the damage. Oof, parry's pretty good. Let's see if there's any cool feats down here that don't cost anything. Parry's a decent one. Tavern Brawler is a natural, I think. Let's see. Tavern Brawler. We don't gain the stat bonus when we take a temporary feat. When we pick up a feat as a power. All improvised weapons. Armed strike or an improvised weapon on your turn. You can use a bonus action to attempt to grapple the target. When you hit a creature with an unarmed strike or an improvised weapon on your turn, you can use a bonus action to attempt to grapple the target. Nah. Not feeling the value. See what's something different we could do. Okay, I'm curious about Savage Attacker now. This might actually be relevant. Once per turn, when you roll damage for a melee weapon attack, you can re-roll the weapon's damage dice and use either total. Nice. Yeah, let's take that. Savage attacker. Feet. What else you got? Poisoner. Funny, but not true. Linguist. Keen mind. Inspiring leader. Defensive duelist. Let's see how that flies. That's the one. When you're wielding a finesse weapon with which you are proficient and another creature hits you with a melee attack, you can use your reaction to add your proficiency bonus to your AC for that attack, potentially causing the attack to miss you. When you are wielding a finesse weapon with which you are proficient and another creature hits you with a melee attack. That's not bad. Defensive duelist. I know attacks count as finesse weapons. At least they do with, I don't know if they are out of the box, but they certainly do for me. Let's see. I need to go up to reactions. Rerolled. Punish, parry. Roll 1 power die per mana burned, reducing the damage by the combined result. Feint, interpose. Deflection as a reaction to when you or an ally within reach of your melee attack are hit by an attack roll. From the source you can see the attack is rerolled. Taking the new result, this rerolled can't score a critical hit. This reaction is considered an opportunity attack. Nice. Empowered defense as a reaction to when you are hit by an attack roll from a source you can see. Roll a number of power dice equal to the mana burned. You gain a bonus to AC equal to the highest die result. Until the beginning of your next turn. Potentially turning the hit into a miss. Good. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. Perfect. How are we doing on time? All right, 50 minutes. Yeah, let's keep it short and sweet today. That's the Drunken Master, folks. We built a Drunken Master. When we come back next week, we'll probably skip past Way of the Four Elements. Well, maybe we'll flesh it out anyway. We already have one. Like I was showing above. Let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Discipline, mana cost, spell, effect. I think what we're going to end up doing with Way of the Four Elements is feeding in the features that we already have in the Elemental Keybook. And then, instead of gaining bonus powers here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Maybe instead of gaining a bunch of class features, you gain your 16 powers that you would normally learn, all the monk class features that you get up above already, and instead of bonus powers, you just gain this entire stack of spells. It's just, you just know them. So you know all of those 17 things. So like at 3rd level, you'll pick up 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll pick up 5 powers. You'll pick up these 5 spells that you can spend 1 mana per level. Except for the elemental attunement, which is 0. It's basically a cantrip. Very simple. Lots of shit being thrown around. I'm good with that. Yeah, I think that's, honestly, I think that's probably the easiest way to do this. Yeah, we're gonna come back. Yeah, we'll come back. We'll come back next week, and we'll do Elemental Key. I'm going to be back tomorrow at lunch working on some more Eldraine creatures. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on hold for now. Wait, the form elements. Yeah. I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah. All right, that's it for today, guys. I'm going to go ahead and cut out of here. Thanks a lot for anyone showing up. Karen, thanks a lot for being here. Appreciate you. Short and sweet today. I'll be back tomorrow morning, continuing to work on Spelljammer art. I'll be back tomorrow in about 23 hours to work on another 2 or 3 monsters in the Eldraine, in the Monsters Compendium 4 on D&D Beyond, Eldraine, Wilds of Eldraine creatures. And tomorrow's Wednesday. Yep, there we go. So, yep, take care.